So, you must be wondering why I'm here. And that's because I'm doing a documentary on free will versus determinism. My name's Harry, or Hazza, as some of you know me. Do you ever think that you've made a decision? Like maybe you choose to roll out of bed, or maybe you choose to snooze your alarm and get some more sleep. Let me clarify this. Free will is the belief that individuals have free reign over their choices, their beliefs, and anything that they want to do is made by themselves, purely themselves. Neuroscience suggests that determinism does exist over free will. In 1983, a neuroscientist, one of my favourites, Benjamin Libet, performed an infamous experiment where he found it takes approximately 0.3 seconds before that you make a conscious realization that you've made a decision. Another man, in 2008, by the name of John Dylan Haynes, found that decision-making prediction much as 7 seconds before someone is consciously aware that they've even done what they want to do. If an individual does something wrong, but everything that they think about and everything that they're going to do is determined in advance, can they really be blamed? Can they truly be punished? Well, quantum mechanics say in modern physics, quantum theory introduces that randomness at a fundamental level, one that we ourselves can't even see, way beyond atoms of this table. For some, this is a threat to a strict determinism. Let's talk to a religious side. We can talk about some philosophers. Let's see what they think. I'm heading over to St. John's too, and we are going to be discovering what religion, Christianity, believes about free will and determinism.
I'm Christine Mogford. I'm a curate at St John's Stoke in Guildford.
Do you have any knowledge on free will or an opinion on it?
Do I have an opinion on it? Yeah, I have an opinion on it. I believe that we do have free will.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think we maybe have as much freedom as we imagine that we do sometimes. I think we are controlled by circumstance and things, but I think ultimately we do have control over our decisions.
Faith in God allows us to make our own mistakes, but if free will, if he already knows that we're going to act out a sin, then is it really free will? The scripture that I have is, before a word is on my tongue, Lord, I know it completely, Psalm 139:4, and I know the end from the beginning, the ancient times is still to come, Isaiah 46:10, to back up kind of the evidence of he already knows that we're going to do something. So is free will is God controlling what we're doing, or?
I don't think that God is controlling what we're doing. I don't think that God causes sin directly.
Yeah, no. So would you say that if we can act out our own kind of sins and we are able to have free choice, is that a sin to us because we are sinning, or does God already know that we're going to sin?
So when we, lots of the time in the Christian faith, when we think about sinning, we think about the fact that we're sinning against God because we're going against his wishes and his will, in a sense, because he doesn't want there to be sin. He even though he knows it's going to happen, he doesn't want it to be there. But just sin against God, do we? Like, often, most of the things that we think of as sin are against other people. You know, when we are rude or violent towards other people, when we rob them, when we do things that, you know, make them hurt, that is against other people. And God is a God of justice, and so there does need to be, you know, I know when people have hurt me, you want justice, don't you? You want them to know that what they've done is wrong, and for them to feel some form of consequence for that. And I think that that's really important.
People believe that saying just I believe in Jesus before dying can just send them to heaven. Is that still okay for sin? Is it still okay for having that free will to sin? Is it like
Free pass?
Yeah, like a free pass.
Like there's a letter in the Bible where there were people saying this, we should sin more because then God has the chance to redeem us more. And Paul says, no, that is not right. Yeah. You've not been saved to sin the more. You've been saved for the glory of God and the good deeds that God has for you.
So I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Lucius Tracy Kelly.
Okay, so I'm going to be discussing free will with you. Have you ever kind of dabbled in free will? I know you've dabbled in philosophy and all that when you taught me.
I'd say I have dabbled in free will in as much as I have wanted to understand about it, in the same way that I think most people who like to think about things would want to explore, does free will exist?
The first question, the bigger question, do you believe that we have free will?
So scientifically, I would argue that no, we don't. So I would agree with, so I'm a big fan of Robert Sapolsky. Yeah. He's a Stanford neuroscientist. I imagine if you've been looking at this topic, it's possibly someone you've come across. Fundamentally, scientifically, we can't really separate where the moment of free will occurs. So if we're looking at the brain and we're looking at how neurons fire, we can't separate out that exact moment that supposedly free will occurs.
My documentary is on free will and determinism, so it is combating the religious side and the philosophy side with the science side, which kind of comes to the question of, are we controlled by kind of our past and environmental factors, do you reckon?
In an absolute sense, yes. I mean, I think saying none of us lives in a silo. We are absolutely the product of everything, fundamentally, that's gone on before us. I think that looking at that, we are, everything here is made from matter that burnt at the heart of a star billions of years ago. Yeah. It didn't just pop into existence. It is processes upon processes upon processes.
For a word is on my tongue, Lord, I know it complete. And the question that I follow along with that is, if we have faith in the Lord to kind of guide us on our path, is that Him controlling us to do the stuff that He wants us to do, the path that He's chose for us? Do we have that free will? Are we on that path for a ride, or is it our choice to be on that path?
Goodness, there's so many strands to pull out of that. And I think for me, as someone who is, cards on the table, an agnostic atheist, also an anti-theist, which is a separate thing. Look at that and we think about sort of that quote and that relationship. I mean, fundamentally, that's what, as I understand it, many of those of faith are doing, is they're saying, I choose to have faith in this thing. That's what the profession of, when they profess faith. Yeah. That's, as I understand it, what they're doing. So on that level, I can scientifically say, I acknowledge that what that person's doing is saying, mentally I'm choosing to profess this belief, and that is a choice, right? There are some pretty heavy philosophical challenges that we have to explore there. Let's go all the way back to Adam and Eve, right? They don't have knowledge. They don't have any factor by which to judge anything. When they're asked to do something, they do it. That is in their nature because they have no moral compass, because they have knowledge. And without reference, we can't know what's good and bad. And God has created these two people, according to the tale, who have no reference for what is good or bad. They do as they are asked, for they are, ciphers, sort of homunculi, blank people. And He's also created one of His angels, who He knows, supposedly, according to the tale, will fall, and is His son, who He loves, but also is His sort of great enemy. And He knows that he'll come into the garden and be like, hi guys, nice bit of fruit on that tree, right? He knows all that. He set it all up. Is it free will? Doesn't sound like it.
Free will or determinism. These are two powerful perspectives that shape how we see ourselves and the world around us. from faith in divine purpose to belief in cause and effect. The voices we heard offer very different answers, and honestly, I'm still in the middle, pulled between the idea of choice and possibly that everything is already set out to what it could be. Maybe the value isn't choosing a side, but staying curious.